Hey, what's up? Paul Jones here. Have you ever gone through your statements and found something you forgot you were paying for? Netflix or some other free trial you forgot to cancel? I found mine this month. It took me 9 hours to get rid of it. Back in 2020, a producer friend put me on to Splice. $12.99 a month, 300 credits. It was cool. I used it, mostly acapella snippets and background textures for my productions. And then I didn't. For 6 years. $12.99 a month for 6 years is a little over $900, which is the best business in software. And I say that as a man who sells software. But the reason it took 9 hours starts 2 years before that. In February of 2024, I put out MIDI Morph. What I wanted it to do was hear what key the MIDI was in and just handle it. You drop something in, it knows, and you never think about it again. At the time, I still hadn't worked out how to get C++ modules into a Highs project. So every open source pitch detector on Earth might as well have not existed. So what do? You write it yourself. Krumhansel Smuckler is a key profile algorithm where you weight every note by how long it's held and correlate that against what a major and minor key usually look like. And I got close enough that randomization stayed in key and it worked, and I was on it every day, just not close enough to detect the key. So I shipped it without detection. People liked it. You did have to tell it what key the MIDI was in to get the good stuff out of it. I knew that, and the manual knew that, but not a whole lot of other people did. I stayed on it for months, and then everything got loud and it fell on the back burner. Then, in May of 2025, a 60-year-old oak tree came down on the house. I only know that because I counted the rings after. 8 years we'd been in that place. One room, and I built everything I sold in there. The tree took the bedroom side. I was on the other side working on a reverb, and it wasn't even one of mine. It was one I was building for another brand. Me and Sid, who hasn't brought it up once since. A tree that big doesn't ask which half you're in, it just picks one. So the actual sequence of events is a tree removed half my house and missed me because I was in the other half working on a product with someone else's logo on it. Which is why I left a career at Apple to develop plugins in the first place. I got tired of working on products with other people's brands on it, but I've made peace with that part. And the part nobody warns you about is the week after. No, I didn't have insurance because I'm a millennial.
Do you have any condoms?
Who needs condoms?
So for the next 2 months, I'm working out where we're going to sleep, what got soaked, and what's still under the branches. And that card on file with Splice is working perfectly the entire time. $12.99 a month for a library I hadn't opened since before the tree. It didn't know. It just kept billing and billing and billing. Meanwhile, my skills caught up. More Python, more C++. Eventually, that wall between C++ and Highs came down. So the algorithm I'd have finished in 2024 finally got finished. That's MIDI Morph 2, which is around when I went to cancel the subscription and found 4,600 credits sitting in the account. I wasn't leaving those, so I started grabbing MIDI files one at a time, 3 credits each. Click, wait, click, wait, click, wait. I got roughly 800 credits in before I realized I developed software for a living. So I wrote something to do the clicking. On August 3rd, it ran from 7:44 in the morning to 2:45 in the afternoon. Buy, download, verify, repeat, 9 sessions, 7 buy cycles. It never got bored once. I got bored after 4 minutes. Partway in, it started to slow down because it was splitting its budget evenly across 15 tags, and the small ones were already bought out. I changed one line in the config. The next cycle pulled more than any other run. Best hour of my whole day, and I wasn't even in the room. Here's where we ended up. 3,800 credits out, 1,313 MIDI files in, with every one of them open, checked, and verified. And the whole library is 0.8 megabytes. Then I canceled. And this next part is the whole reason I did it. So let me tell you what the generator in MIDI Morph 2 actually is. Because AI is doing a lot of heavy lifting and a lot of product descriptions right now. It is not a model that learned those songs. Not a single one of those files is inside MIDI Morph 2. The build read all 1,313 of them, measured them, and then threw the notes away. What it kept was a table of numbers, which scale degrees tended to follow which others, how hats bunched up across a bar, and how dense a part got before it stopped sounding like it was being played by a human. And it measured the key of every single file with Hansel Schmuckler, the same algorithm I couldn't finish in 2024. So that table is what ships. It's smaller than a photo, you hit generate and it plays from the numbers. So none of their loops can come out of it because none of their loops went into it. And when you spread that across 1,300 files from hundreds of different producers, you're not left holding anyone's melody. You're left with what the genre does melodically. That matters to me for two reasons. One, I paid for every one of those files, and their own terms say the downloads are mine to keep even if I cancel. Two, I can prove it. I keep the source patterns offline on my own machine and run the output against them just to check nothing came through. That test never ships, and neither does the files. I'd rather build it that way and tell you exactly how than call it AI and hope nobody asks. So you hit generate, you're getting the feel without one note of anyone else's. $900 of a subscription I forgot I had turned into a table that plays, which is roughly the trade I made with the house. Lost the room and I kept what I learned inside of it. Here's where we are right now. MIDI Morph 2 is still at the introductory price until Samp Lab retires. You can hum a line at it or drop a whole loop on it and it'll hand you the notes or the stems. Or you can start on an empty piano roll and let it write the part for you. Custom Tone 2 currently has 4 expansion packs with more on the way. And the course. Module 1 went live August 1st. There's also new plugins I developed for Banana Audio, including that reverb that was on the screen when the tree came down. So that one worked out for everybody. Look out for those. One thing before you go try this yourself. It only worked because those credits were already paid for. If you cancel first, you're walking away from every one of them. So go and look at your balance before you hit that button. Worst case, you're out 4 minutes. Best case, you're me on a Tuesday afternoon watching a robot buy hi-hats for 7 hours.
Bite my shiny metal ass.
We've all got one of these charges somewhere. You own more than you think. Take it with you, then cancel. Welcome to Audio Tech Gang.